I only recall what I've told you, that he was sleepy. I tried to feed him. I did swaddle him.
Another injury that did happen prior at some point.
So beyond the femur fracture, we have additional injuries to the child that were unexplained.
I noticed on his bassinet sheet where his head was a brown stain.
So the last time that we had spoke, you said that the brown liquid on the sheets of the bassinet, pictures were taken from the deputies that were in your house, and the brown liquid was not in the bassinet, it was on the pillowcase in the master bed.
A mother says she doesn't remember, but a 14-week-old baby's injuries tell a very different story. This is the interview where detectives slowly stopped believing her. Dominic was only 14 weeks old. He never crawled, never spoke his first word. He never lived a single day without someone responsible for protecting him. Then, one ordinary day, his life came to an end. Whether you believe it was a tragic accident, a moment that spiraled out of control, or something far more disturbing, one thing is impossible to ignore. Someone inside that house knows exactly what happened. Dominic never got the chance to tell his own story. Today, you'll hear the interview, the contradictions, and the moments that made investigators question everything. Before we begin, I want to ask you something. As you listen, pay close attention to every answer, every pause, and every change in her story. Then come back and tell me what you think. Do you believe Lily truly can't remember, or do you think she's hiding the truth? Leave your opinion in the comments before you reach the ending. I read every single one, and I'm genuinely interested to see where you stand after hearing the evidence. November 8th, 2021, Sarasota, Florida. A 14-week-old boy named Dominic was found not breathing by his mother. He died from head trauma. Detectives called her in for what they said was just a statement.
911, what's the location of your emergency?
What? I'm sorry.
Lexi, help! Help! Her baby's not breathing.
Okay, tell me exactly what happened.
My neighbor ran to my house. Her baby's not breathing.
Okay, is the baby with you?
Yes. Yes, we are performing CPR now.
We have help on the way.
Okay.
Come on, Dominic. Come on, baby.
He's cyanotic. He's non-responsive. He's gurgling.
Okay.
They're all here.
Up. They should be pulling up.
Yep, they're here.
Okay. All right, I'll let
Thank
go.
you.
Name, I don't know.
Did you flick it?
Yeah.
Okay.
We're good to go.
All right, so this is my partner, Detective McDonald. You can call him Chad.
Okay.
And again, I'm Sarah. A couple things about this room I just want to let you know about.
Feel free to
I don't know if you've ever seen a cop show or anything like that, but typically the interview rooms look a little bit different.
Yes.
This one's relatively nice. This is what we call our soft room. So this is to try to create a better environment for you. Make you a little bit more comfortable. I don't know how much your attorney has explained to you already, but this is an interview that is basically just a statement. So all we're asking of you is just to go through your day, and we'll get into that stuff, but it's not going to be, anything related to a crime, okay? So we are investigating the death of your child, and with that becomes statements. We have to talk to a lot of different people, and you are one of them. So again, thank you so much for coming in and taking the time to talk to us.
Absolutely.
Okay. So at any time, if you need to talk to your attorney and you don't want us to be present, please let us know. If at any time, Lily, you need to take a break, say, hey, Sarah, can we just take a break for a sec? Let me know. Just communicate with me. I am totally open to whatever you need. Okay?
Thank you.
If you need to use the restroom again, I have a tiny bladder, so I get it.
I do too.
I'm every 10 minutes, I'm in the bathroom, so just let me know, okay?
I'm the same, but I think I'm okay. Thank you.
Okay, you're welcome.
Okay.
Do you have any questions for us before we begin?
I don't.
Okay. Lily, can you tell us about Monday, the 8th of November, from the time you woke up all the way through the end of the night?
I woke up, I think it was around 6:30, with Dominic. Fed him his formula, which usually takes, half an hour. Had a little time to snuggle him. I made my coffee and my toast. Lucas woke up around 7:30. So then I put Dominic in his pack and play. I always sit with Lucas on the couch for a few minutes. He has his milk. Then I read him a book. So now we're going on 8 o'clock. I just say good morning to Lucas, read him a book. Pete gets up around 8. So he was up. He goes to work at 9, so we had that hour of family time. And Lucas watches a little cartoon during that time. And we play with Dominic. We didn't notice anything out of the ordinary as far as Dominic's behavior in the morning. He was his normal, happy self. So Pete went to work about 8:45, his normal time. Lucas had some Cheerios. I took Dominic's, he's got a seat, chair outside. I took both of them outside. No, I'm sorry. I put his seat outside. Dominic was in his swing. I have a sound monitor.
Did Lily ever tell you about anything that may have happened to Dominic while Dominic was in her care?
No, she just kept racking her brain. She's like, I don't know what happened. And I'm like, well, I don't know. But she gave me, she's been thorough with that story of, she was feeding him, she burped him, she put him down, went and hung out with Lucas for 5-10 minutes, came back unresponsive. That's what she has told me.
That's the only thing I've heard.
And
That's the only thing I've heard as well.
So I don't know anything else.
Okay. Do you think that she would tell you if something else happened?
I do. I truthfully do.
Okay. Have you guys had any issues with your marriage?
No.
Okay. How would you describe your marriage?
Perfect.
Perfect?
Yeah.
Okay.
Lucas spent probably 20 minutes in there, and then went to his, it was nice outside. I'm glad the weather's cooling off, but
Me too.
yeah. I filled up he's got a water table, and I have pictures. Lucas is at his water table playing, with his water toys, and Dominic was sitting watching him. So I'm trying to think what time it must have been when we went inside. We were out there maybe 9:30 to 10:30. We all went back inside. I made breakfast for Lucas. He likes whole wheat waffles. So we did that.
We have that in common.
Dominic has a sit-me-up seat that I put in the middle of the dining room table. There's no chance of that becoming any
Falling off or whatever. It's right in the middle of the table.
Secure.
Yeah.
Okay, right
Yes.
on. Right on.
Yes. So he and he likes to watch me in the kitchen. He's very proud of himself sitting up. So he was doing that while I made Lucas's breakfast.
Hans was in the back. He was doing mouth-to-mouth breaths on the baby while we were setting up our equipment. Brian Rumasek was the paramedic in charge, and Carlos Gomez all were the initial people in the back of the rescue. While they were setting that up, I popped out to meet with the parents who were on the side street by the mailbox. Mom was inconsolable. Dad, I asked him real briefly, quickly, when was the last time you'd seen him normal? And Dad's response was 2 hours ago. I'm like, okay, Mom didn't say anything at that time. I went back inside the rescue, stated, okay, yeah, the baby was last seen normal 2 hours ago. Our crew continued resuscitation efforts, all of that just fine. One of your sheriff's deputies popped in the door and said, hey, Mom said last seen 15 minutes ago.
That explains, I can remember there was some initial confusion, for lack of a better term, so that absolutely explains then where that came from.
Yeah.
Because Dad had left the house prior to.
Exactly, and
Okay.
that's the same thing, that was, I guess he was somewhere else.
Yes.
Doing something, so that would make sense to why there was that, he said 2 hours and Mom said 15 minutes.
Exactly.
I think we were hanging out in the living room. I took Dominic out of his pack and play. We went for more tummy time in the room. Lucas didn't want to come in the room, but he stayed in the living room. We did our tummy time, maybe 20 minutes. I changed Dominic's diaper, put him in his pajamas. It was maybe a little before 9. I tried to give him his other bottle. He seemed very tired, but he hadn't. He had fallen asleep in the car, but he hadn't napped since he got up right before 5. So he had been up 4 hours. He seemed very tired. I tried to give him his bottle, and he just didn't want it. He seemed like he was falling out, like he was ready to sleep. I remember encouraging him to swallow it like this. He just didn't want it. I held him for a minute. I put him down in his bassinet in the room with the door open. I went back to Lucas, changed his diaper, put him in his pajamas, put on his relaxing fishes again. He seems to only rest if I sit with him. So I was sitting on the couch with him probably 20 minutes. It was just before 9:30. I went back in the room to see if Dominic had fallen asleep. Sometimes he will just lay there. There was a fox on his bassinet that he likes to just kind of look at. But when I went back, he wasn't breathing. His lips were blue. I scooped him picked him up out of the bassinet.
And I went to work from 8:30 to 5. I got home, everything was as normal. I fed and hung out with, usually right after work I'll bring Lucas out to the swing. We have a swing in the back. So I'll do that for a bit. And then I hung out with Dominic and everything was fine. And it was probably around 6:30 that I headed out to band practice. No, I'm sorry. More towards 7.
Okay.
7, okay? So I headed out to band practice and I was there until 9:30.
9:30ish. Okay.
And that's when I got home. I've always had anxiety when I see like police cars or fire places by my neighborhood, because I always think the worst case scenario. And when I was heading home, I was going down 47th Street and I saw these cop cars speeding that way towards my area, so I just kind of started speeding and got to my house behind them. I didn't know what was happening, so my street had already been filled with paramedics and police. And I get there and I pull in, and my neighbor comes running out a couple houses down and says, "Dominic's not breathing."
I don't have much light in my room, went into the kids' room directly across the hall, put him on his changing table, immediately noticed he's unresponsive. I could not find my cell phone. in a hurry. I knew I would need an ambulance. I'm a nurse. I would have immediately called 911 on speakerphone and initiated CPR. I panicked, ran to my neighbor's house, right next to my house. Her husband drives an ambulance for pediatrics. She said, go to my mother-in-law's house, directly across the street. We laid Dominic down in the garage, initiated CPR. I do remember giving him the breaths, and he was full of, I don't know, it was brown. He was very junky. There was brown liquid coming out of his mouth. I believe that it's a matter of shock and trauma that I can't recollect him being taken by the ambulance, but I know that that is what happened up until that point.
Lily told detectives that paramedics found her holding Dominic on a neighbor's back porch just 15 minutes after she got home, not 2.5 hours later, as her husband had originally told police. She insisted the timeline was nothing more than a misunderstanding. For the moment, detectives let it go. They didn't challenge the contradiction. Not yet.
What about over the weekend, Lily? Can you describe just what your weekend looked like, Saturday, Sunday?
Yeah, we had my sister's kids over Friday night. We had a sleepover. It's exciting.
How old are the other kids?
Her son is 10 and her daughter is 6.
Got you.
Her daughter, Finley, had basketball. She had a game on Saturday morning early. So Saturday morning, we started out with making them breakfast. My sister's husband, Scott, came over and helped Finley get ready to go. They left. I got ready. I took Dominic to my dad's house in Nokomis. Pete stayed with Lucas. Pete did he have band practice Saturday morning? He did. Band practice Saturday morning. When he got back, I left for my dad's house because I remember being late because he was late in band practice. But
Okay.
anyway, I took Dominic to my dad's house. My dad had some cousins in town that hadn't met Dominic. Everyone was excited to see him. My stepmom was there and her sister. So Dominic was passed around, very much loved on at my dad's house that day. That was a big part of our Saturday.
Was there any point on Saturday, you had mentioned that he was passed around a lot, was there any point that he could have potentially been injured during being passed around from family member to family member?
No.
Okay. I would assume someone would let you know if something happened.
Oh,
but
you were there.
Yeah. Okay.
So it was safe environment, good visit.
Yeah, that was.
So you're more involved with the
Yes.
patients.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. When I got off of work, I stopped and got us some ribs at All Days. When I got home, I had my hands full with my work bag and the ribs, and there was a wandering dog. He was in front of our fence. I should have called Pete. Again, my hands were full, and I went to the door and knocked on it. I wanted him to, and I said, don't open the door all the way because this dog was not far from me. He was in front of the fence.
Did you recognize the dog?
I recognize the markings on the dog.
Okay.
Our next door neighbor, they have a different breed of dog with almost the same markings, and his name is Moose. And I wanted Pete to look out and tell me if it was Moose, but when Pete cracked the door open, our dog, she's a mix of American Bulldog Pit Bull, and she stuck her nose out. This dog came from where he was in front of our fence and barreled into our house.
Jeez.
Yeah.
It's scary.
Very scary.
Mhm.
Yeah, he was shorter but stalky and strong. I mean, I couldn't stop him. He just forced his way in and started immediately trying to fight our pit bull. Not at all.
It seems fair to say that Lucas was not an aggressive boy by any means.
Not at all.
Maybe a little attention deficit, but not really an aggressive boy.
No.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
Sweetheart.
So I understand about after 3 weeks, when Dominic was 3 weeks old, something happened with his leg. Can you describe what happened to us?
Sure. I had just fed Dominic. I was we have a rocker, recliner, lazy boy chair in our living room next to Lucas's little kid table. I was burping Dominic. I had him sitting up on this knee, and I had one hand patting his back and the other hand on his chest. On this side of the chair is the lever to recline it. Lucas liked to mess around. He would stand up on it and kind of jump on it.
He was a boy.
Little bit. Yeah.
Big brother.
Yeah. When this happened, he was standing on the lever, and he put his foot back to try to balance on the chair of the kids' table, and that started to lean back. He lost his balance, and he reached out and grabbed this hand that I had on Dominic's chest. And I couldn't get it back from him in time to stop Dominic from falling. Dominic fell, and his right leg was tucked behind him. I didn't initially think that he was seriously injured at all. But I took him to the changing table, and it was clear that one leg he was moving and the other leg was, I don't want to say floppy, but he wasn't able to move it. And
So I came home at 5, and she had already had him in the bassinet, car seat, ready to go to
Get him checked out.
urgent care. And I said, "What happened?" And she said, "Well, I was burping him, and Lucas came up on the chair, because she has a rocking chair, and kind of like pulled a little bit, and she lost her balance, and he fell."
Okay.
And I have no reason to believe, anything else happened there. So she went right from left and went to 3 urgent cares, because the first 2 wouldn't take the baby because of the age.
Oh, okay.
So finally the third one, and then he got bay flighted or ambulance ride to All Children's.
Okay.
And then they said he had a broken leg and a fracture on the other leg.
Oh, the 2?
But this is what I'm saying. Initially, that's what they said. And then 3 weeks later, the other doctor said, no, there was no fracture. It was just a speck. You know what I mean?
Like a bone fragment or something?
Yeah, but it wasn't caused by the injury.
Okay.
So he had just broken his leg. There was no fracture.
Okay.
All right.
Gotcha.
when I touched it, he was crying. He was in pain. So right away, I put him in the car seat. I knew Pete would be home. I had texted him, "Are you on your way home?"
Mm-hmm.
He said, "Yeah." And when I wasn't touching the leg, Dominic wasn't crying. Pete even came home and said, "Are you sure you need to take him to urgent care?" But I had called Sarasota Memorial Urgent Care on University. I said, "Yeah, I touched his leg and he cried." He said, "Okay, well," and I thought it was maybe a sprain. I'd be back home, in an hour, but they said they would see him. When I got there, they said they can't because he was under 3 months old. They referred me to a different urgent care, Lakewood Ranch. I went there. They hadn't opened yet. It said coming soon. I had passed a doctor's hospital, ER off Lakewood Ranch. So I called them, I went there. And we were there for some hours. They did x-rays, told me that he had a fracture. And I rode with them in the ambulance to All Children's Hospital. Okay. We stayed for a few days.
Oh, wow, really?
Yeah.
They didn't have to put in a cast or anything?
At Doctor's Hospital ER, they did.
Like a temporary or?
Yeah, they did, and they had me hold it for, I don't know, a few
Just keep it
minutes while it
stationary.
hardened. Yeah.
I know that you're under some time constraints, so I'll definitely try to wrap it up for you. Okay. How were you feeling after having Dominic in terms of your mental health? Like, how are you doing with the new baby in the house and having Lucas in the house as well?
I think I did have a bit of postpartum. I already had the blues, before
Absolutely. Yeah.
having him. So I was depressed, but I was also at the same time happy,
Happy to have
Postpartum
the
is
little
weird
baby.
in that way.
Yeah.
I can imagine.
It's just such a double,
Yeah.
two-sided
Yeah.
coin. You're happy to have your new baby, and then feel guilty because you're sad.
Yeah.
I mean, you're all on your own, not out of neglect, but Pete's working full time.
And nobody else
You're doing it.
had the baby but you.
Yeah, and you're doing it. You got a 2-year-old, which they're hyper and what have you, and a newborn. It's a lot.
Yeah, it seems like you had a lot on your plate.
After losing her sister,
Yes.
who, I mean, they were best friends.
Yes.
Best friends. So,
Yeah.
I had to kind of figure out how to juggle the two of them, but that didn't take long.
Instincts took over.
Yeah.
How were you working through the depression? What kind of things were you doing to help yourself with that?
I would take them for walks in the morning.
Mhm.
Walking helped. I had gotten a double stroller.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So that, my husband is, I always say, like, he's my antidepressant.
Oh, that's cute. I like that.
Yeah, he's very supportive, and I would talk to him about how I was feeling.
Is that
I
helping?
would look at pictures of her,
Yeah. Okay.
Sounds like you have some great friends, too.
Yeah.
but not on a,
I think it would be abnormal if you weren't.
Yes.
You know,
Agreed.
given
Yeah.
everything that you're going through, it would be
Agreed.
abnormal to just plow through this silver
Yeah.
level-headed
Yes.
every single day.
Yeah, we are
You know?
all human, and we all enjoy the fruits of alcohol.
You
for
have
sure.
to let go every
And it's a self-medication. If you're not
It
getting
is.
help, and you're not, even if you know you sort of need it, that's your self-medication. You're numbing,
Well, and
you know.
correct me if I'm wrong, but the culmination of the drinking and the grief and the incident with Dominic, it led to you seeking help at Bayside, right? The culmination of all of that is what led you to go to Bayside.
right.
Right.
I had a fleeting thought of,
So,
right, self-harm, and
Okay.
that really scared me because I
Heck yeah.
don't
Yeah.
think that way.
Lucas
That
and
would
Pete
scare me
need you
too.
way too much.
oh yeah.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
We commend you for doing that. That takes a lot of courage and, again, self-awareness to say, you know what, I need help.
This isn't right.
Yeah.
And strength. There's so many people that don't, and either go down that path of the self-medicating through, then it turns to hard drugs, and it can be so detrimental. So kudos.
Yeah. We commend you for that. I know you are on a time constraint, so.
Yeah, the Kyle Rittenhouse verdict just came out too.
Oh, and
Not guilty.
Interesting.
I can say I'm not overly surprised based on how a couple things are going and how these things go.
My phone is
Wow.
blowing.
I bet it is.
Yeah.
That is crazy.
Is that
but
you?
Yeah.
Yeah. It is her.
Yeah.
She-
My dad, my sister, my friends, my assistant,
Everybody wants
my
to talk to you about it,
coworkers.
I'm sure. Do you have any other additional questions for Lily? Okay. Lily, is there anything that you'd like to ask us or anything that maybe we didn't ask about that you think is important for us to know?
I don't think so. I think we've covered it all.
Well, she was hospitalized during the hearing, and we didn't expect that. We didn't know if she was going to be present or not. So I don't think
Right.
the court appointed an attorney for her.
Right.
It was just kind of missed during the hearing.
I see.
So
They said sometimes it takes a few days to show up and to call back, so that was on my to-dos today.
Okay.
I'll try to find something out for you.
thank you.
One more quick question. I'm so sorry. Just kind of popped in my head. This generally is what happened when we're ready to leave. Do you have any concerns that Pete would have done something to Dominic that he
None
would be too
whatsoever.
embarrassed to tell you about?
No
or
way.
Okay.
Not even if it's
Whatsoever.
accidental. Like,
No.
oh shit.
No.
No
No.
concerns whatsoever. Any family members, friends, anybody that you'd be like,
No.
this person's not good with kids or whatever. Okay.
That was the end of the first interview. Lily walked out of the station without realizing detectives had already begun to question her story. Weeks later, they called her back. But this time, everything was different. Before they asked a single question, they read her Miranda rights. The conversation was no longer about gathering information. It was about finding the truth.
Yeah. So you actually have to go to work because you like what you do.
I do.
All right. Well, I appreciate you guys coming in again to speak with us today.
Sure.
We have a little bit of, like I said yesterday, we don't have any kind of official documentation, but we do have some updated information.
Oh, good.
So we have a couple questions for you, Lily. And prior to asking those questions, I do need to make sure that you understand what your rights are. So obviously you have your attorney here and she can help you understand any of these rights, but I'm going to go ahead and read them to you. And as we go along, if you need to interrupt me and say, hey, I don't understand that, let's talk about it, okay? And then we can move forward, okay?
Okay.
All right.
Or if y'all need a moment to speak privately,
Yeah,
what have you.
absolutely.
We're all
Whatever
aware.
you need, okay?
Okay.
You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you in a court of law. You have the right to talk to an attorney and have him or her present with you before and during questioning. If you cannot afford to hire an attorney, one will be appointed to represent you at no cost to you before and during questioning if you wish. And you can decide at any time to exercise these rights and not answer any questions or make any statements. Do all of those rights make sense to you? I apologize.
Yes.
Do all those rights make sense to you?
I do.
Okay. Is there anything that you would like clarified or that you don't understand about your rights?
No.
Okay. And obviously you have Courtney here. If at any time, excuse me, at any time you need to speak with Courtney, please let us know, okay? We want to try to make this as easy as possible for you. So that being said, Courtney, are you okay if we continue?
Yeah. It seems like the interview may have progressed a little bit different from last time. So before you answer, just maybe take a pause in case I want to tell you not to. But yeah, we can go ahead.
Wonderful.
Okay.
Okay. Lily, so like I said, we've obtained some information, and prior to discussing that with you and asking any questions of you, I'd just like if you would raise your right hand for me. Do you swear or affirm that the statement that you're about to give me is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you so much. Okay. So, Lily, we've got some unexplained injuries to Dominic's head. And I know that originally when you guys were in the hospital, they had told you Dominic had some head trauma. So you were kind of aware of that already.
Yes.
So we were able to look a little bit deeper into that. And I'd like to give you the opportunity to explain how Dominic got those injuries. And this is that opportunity for you to do that.
Okay. I don't have an explanation.
Okay.
What kind of injuries did you guys see? Like, I know that in the hospital they were notified about a skeletal or a skull fracture.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Not numerous injuries.
There are numerous injuries to the back of his head.
Oh my goodness. We were just aware of the one.
Yeah.
In the whole care and custody, you know, I mean, we've established, at least with speaking everyone, that, you know, you were the last one with Dominic. You know what I mean? That's, we all understand that.
Right.
In the limited time, you know, that Peter was there was no accidental drops or any, you know, inflicted damage, what have you. He left, as you even described it, the smiley, you know, happy face. He was fine.
That's, yeah,
Seemed
Peter,
alright.
Peter left and he was smiley, happy. You described that, you know, everything seemed okay. And then there's kind of that interim from when, after Peter left to when you went to your neighbor's house. That's that time period that needs a little bit more explanation. And I'd really like to give you that opportunity now to, if there's anything that you can think of that you'd like to talk about, now would be the time to do so.
So that was confusing for us. Like, that's a pretty big span.
Yeah.
At that point, no other interaction with the parents that I had. The rest of it was, I actually used your sheriff's office, your officers on scene to kind of contact with the parents, say, is there any other medical issues, anything else going on, trying to retrieve date of birth, all of that, while I stayed inside the rescue with the rescue crew.
Okay. Anything, observations you had as far as when the baby's being carried out?
No. From my understanding is the mom took the baby over to Hans's wife, his house, which was a little bit confusing for us because we weren't really sure what was going on with that as far as what had happened. So we don't know. I didn't personally know what was done prior to our arrival. But it was just a short amount of time from when Grady went in and immediately brought the baby out, put it in the back of the rescue, and that's when we started things. We didn't observe any traumatic injuries. We didn't observe anything out of the ordinary other than the baby in cardiac arrest.
And I think any mother can empathize with the situation that you were in. Not to say I'm not a mom, but I've got a coworker who sits right across from me that's got a young child, and she's got a second one on the way, and she's like, I can empathize with just losing your shit, just straight up losing it, and then to top it off, your sister died. You're drinking.
A husband that's, and not judging him, he's working full time and he's
trying to
but
provide.
Not as attentive, even based on his own family, as he maybe could or should be. He's learning the father role, but that
And
puts
your
it on you.
2-year-old that, you know, has maybe got some developmental delays. He's not quite up to par with maybe some other 2-year-olds. And then a brand new baby to add to the equation.
During a time that you haven't even dealt with the loss of your sister. You weren't even really able to fully enjoy the birth of your new baby because you're in depression and grief over losing your sister.
And even your mom, she straight up was like, you know, I think Lily was suffering from postpartum. And even you said that, you know, I think I may have been. And I think that's a reasonable conclusion based off of everything. But if it was a matter of just losing it for 1 second, then that's what happened. But that's something that we don't know unless you tell us. We have to draw that conclusion based off of the evidence that's provided, the medical evidence that's provided.
If it is, you know, a definite fact that something would have had to have happened in that time, and I can't bring myself to think of it.
Okay.
Because he seemed a normal weight, you know what I mean? And I
Right.
know they do every month.
Yeah, like he
You
didn't
know.
failure to thrive or anything like that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay, so that being said, was Dominic seeing the doctor regularly as supposed to be, whatever that schedule
The
is.
well checks.
Yeah, the well
Yep.
checks. Okay, okay. What about Lily? Like, how was she handling the pregnancy? How was she doing with the brand new baby in the house and the 2-year-old?
She was good.
Yeah?
She was good. I didn't find I couldn't see anything that would, give me any cause for alarm. Is
Okay.
what I'm saying. It was a typical mom. Like, she was obviously had her little stressors of it, dealing with her sister passing away. And,
No doubt.
the kids really brightened her spirit. They
Okay.
really made her happy. So I couldn't, I didn't see anything as far as her being stressed around the kids.
I think we all kind of expected a little bit of postpartum, probably, given that her sister died, in her 3rd trimester, and that's her only sister. They were very close.
So yeah, that was gonna be my next question. How was she coping with the death of her sister?
She was, just crying a lot.
Mm-hmm. And that happened in her 3rd trimester. So she was pregnant with Dominic when her sister died.
Yes.
Courtney's got my number. Anything, please reach out to me. Okay?
Okay.
I want to be on your side. I mean, I don't, like he said, it's not really our style to freaking, paint people in like a monster. You're not a monster. But something happened.
And it wasn't, like we said, a smothering or a drowning in fluids or when you recall and recover whatever, we're dealing with blunt force trauma. Just to help you down the correct path, okay?
Okay.
All I can think to do is work with a psychiatrist if something definitely happened that I don't know of.
Yeah, like I said, you're not
recall.
recalling. Yeah.
Right. If something happened, then
Because we don't want a created story. We don't want someone to plant something, in your head. We want it to be your story and your truth. It's just a matter of finding it. And unfortunately, that's up to you and the therapist. And that's fine. That's the way it needs to be.
I'll work on getting professional help to find it if that's what I need to do.
Okay.
And for your healing as well. There's obviously multi reasons of doing that.
Okay. All right, we'll walk you down, okay?
Okay. All right, we'll be in
Thank you.
touch.
Date, time, or anything. I didn't even.
No, it's 11:04.
All right.
December 2nd.
Did you catch what just changed? The friendly conversation was over. Before asking a single question, detectives read Lily her Miranda rights. That tells you everything. Somewhere between the first interview and this one, the evidence had changed the entire direction of the investigation. From this moment on, they weren't just looking for answers. They were testing her story. If you noticed that shift before I pointed it out, let me know in the comments. Lily Skeape walked out of that interrogation room without a confession. Through her attorney, she continued to maintain that she didn't know what happened to Dominic. But the case moved forward. On December 29, 2025, Lily was sentenced to just over 10 years in prison, followed by 4 years of probation, after being convicted of manslaughter in the death of her son. The charge she originally faced was much more serious, second-degree murder. But after her defense team argued that prosecutors could not prove malicious intent, the charge was reduced. And in the end, a 14-week-old baby, who could never speak for himself, became the center of a case that left one question hanging. How much did Lily truly know about what happened that day?